gotta still go over the team names because both are pretty cool. We have some vibes, some monsoon breeze.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, Jakiro's one of these heroes that just really safe. Like, Jakiro's gonna do Jakiro things no matter what happens, really. Like, you're gonna press your spells, you're gonna be able to get rid of creep waves pushing into you very easily and very safely just with a macro fire. You can help push towers with liquid fire and things like that, but it's not really the quickest hero. It's not the kind of hero that can really dictate the pace of the game. So they're gonna probably try to look towards something like that, especially now, considering that there is a Lich which stabilizes lane, like we've seen that in game number 2 of the last series quite well, and the Konga to one of the more prominent heroes of the meta, as it was before the patch at the very least, and still very strong regardless, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's still a strong laner. Like, you never pick Kunkka just so you get level 25 with the Tidebringer. It was a nice bonus to add on top of it, because you can get levels quite efficiently, but he's one of those heroes I'm really baffled about that there was no big changes to him, because he was so dominant, then he kind of had like the downtime for a little bit, and he's back up and hasn't been touched in the patch whatsoever. A little bit curious about the thinking there, but hey, you do not question the frog. The frog questions you.
Yeah, I mean, he also buffed Dark Willow, so he also buffed
yeah
for some reason. Like,
yeah,
frog works in mysterious ways. Just leave it at that, I guess.
Like, I'm particularly interested in how the talents were touched. Lots of talents just straight up lost bonuses. Slark losing some extra agility on his level 10 talent. Mirana losing 5 damage on the level 10 talent. And you know what? Then there's that hero that gets plus 40. The biggest damage talent early on there is in the entire game, and it hasn't been touched at all, which is a little bit frightening almost.
Yeah. Well, a way to change it right here, right now, anyway. So you're just gonna have to deal with it. What do you make of this early Phantom Lancer pick, though? Because like we see a lot of supports and offliners and flex heroes being picked, but PL, the only flex that there is that you can in some lanes run in mid, but beyond that, it's very clear how that hero is supposed to work the later the game goes.
I mean, I understand. It makes a little bit more sense with the bans they have, and they also see they also saw the Doom ban out in the first phase. It makes sense to go for the PL. Like, they also did that at the end of the first stage, so they have 2 additional bans to dish out. Right now, there's not many heroes in the pool left that can really be a nuisance to the PL. Like, what would you pick against this PL right now that is still in effect beside the Kunkka? This is the only downside I see. They picked it directly into a Kunkka, a hero that is really good at clearing out the illusions in the fight.
I mean, beyond that, anything
and Lich.
With, anything with a lot of AoE control. Like, you can put the Lich as that offlane support. You can still pick up a Disruptor if you really want to. Like, not as decent against the Phantom Lancer with a glimpse, but if you catch him in such a Diving Storm, there's nothing you can do either. Or, for that matter, even the Night Stalker also still in the pool. There's quite a few options here against the Phantom Lancer.
I don't feel the Night Stalker in particular. I do feel like Disruptor would be a nice choice, especially because we know Lich is gonna sit on an aggressive dual lane, right? Like, he's gonna make sure this PL has no experience to work with. Who else would be on there? It's a Bloodseeker for now. Okay, that can work. That is really good to chase him down.
Also, if he goes to Radiance build, like any sort of Radiance hero or Mjolnir, and both of those options are very much viable for Bloodseeker. Any sort of big constant AoE damage like that helps tremendously against the Phantom Lancer, because you don't really care about who's the illusion and who isn't, because you burn away at all of them, so any subsequent illusion will also be weaker, so you can whittle away at all of them at the same time.
Yeah. There's finally a Sun King. We haven't seen him much, and he hasn't even been banned that much recently, but hey, we have a Sun King.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing about the Bloodseekers, you have the X mark into the silence we cannot forget about. That is pretty good against PL.
I can maybe use a doppelganger to time it, but
it's hard to time it.
And
if you place it in a way he has to use the doppelganger in your direction, the range of the doppelganger doesn't perfectly time it. Like, you can force it out with the X mark or the silence, or even just using the silence to force it out and then X mark afterwards. So They have two tools they can work with. It's important that
if you X back into the silence, but you miss time it, so you get the doppelganger off as he after he was X back, but before silence actually comes in, then well, it's also not ideal. So it really depends on how well they're able to outplay each other, I guess.
Yeah, it is really important that if you have a hero such as PL that is really slippery, if you draft against him, that you make sure that you don't rely on one hero to lock him down, like building a superhero up, because if that hero gets disabled or misses it, then you're tough out of luck. So that is one of the reasons we don't see heroes like Enigma or Titan that much, because if you build around that one hero and that one ability fails, what do? Then you're screwed. So Monsoon is making sure they have already 4 tools to deal with it. They have the Lich Ultimate, they have the Bristleback, who's good, they have the Kunkka, who has amazing utility, and the Bloodseeker to round it all out, as well as amplify the damage on the Bristleback, which I really like, because Bristle tends to hit quite hard with cool sprays, and then you have the added damage, which is insane.
Yeah, normally I'm not a fan of the Bristleback, but in this particular game, as you said, that extra damage from Blood Rage, also perhaps helping the Bristleback keep himself alive even more. But of course, that's a double-edged sword, as it always is when it comes to Blood Rage. But also the Lich being able to make sure that you have a favorable lane in that sense.
Talking about double-edged swords.
Yeah, I mean, if you can keep the lane with the Bristleback kind of close to your tower, then it's very hard for the other team to really just whittle away at you time and time again, and then ultimately run you down in like the second or third go after these quill stacks that you've been stacking up have expired again. Like, this is normally the way that you deal with Bristleback. The only worry that I still have for him, regardless of everything, is that there is Phantom Lancer who will build a Diffusal Blade. And if you just get rid of all of the mana from the Bristleback, he's basically useless in the fight.
He's useless, but he also doesn't die as easily. Like, he still hits okay. He will build into Crimson Guard. Crimson Guard does not require any mana or activation, which is, even if he gets caught off guard by like Sand King Stun into lots of PL illusions, he's not gonna die as easily. And with like a stick, you will always have some sort of mana in the fight. Bristle, off of one stick charge, he can basically run around. Yes, it is a concern he has to deal with, but I think like he's gonna be fine with the Bristle. The thing I would be more concerned about is the Timbersaw, because he has been recently buffed from 13% to 15% on the attribute reduction, which is a huge deal for Bristleback.
Dire team pick.
Still not sure about picking the Timbersaw into a Bloodseeker and a Kunkka, though.
Seems
really bold, to say the least.
Yeah, it's a little bit frightening, because if you catch that Rupture, you're dead. You don't run on Timber. You can't dodge any magic damage. There's also Lich to be concerned about. So this is either like the super defensive Timbersaw, where you just build into pipe directly from the get-go, or you get that Vanguard and hope for the best.
You need like pipe and Yules. I don't think Vanguard is really just the way for you, but yeah, even then.
Yeah, Yules should be better, you're right. There's the silence from Blood.
Ember Spirits.
Ember is a good
with that
pick
a little
here.
bit better, yeah. But X can be annoying for him too if he misplays. So
The question is, who's mid? Do they put the Bloodseeker in the mid lane is the question.
I would just put the Bloodseeker up against the Timbersaw and Kunkka mid, unless they want to go for something else right now that just straight up beats the Ember Spirit.
Kunkka mid tends to struggle sometimes against the Ember Spirit, especially if you have like 2 stuns already coming in. You have Sand King Jakiro that can potentially rotate in. Timbersaw and PL should be fine, sticking solo for some time. This looks more like a tri-lane from Vibe to me. So they can rotate their supports away. I would more like, if they do not put the Kunkka in mid and stick him in the position 4, go for like a ranged hero for your mid lane. Otherwise you end up with 3 melee cores against the Timbersaw. Or you pick Ursa. God damn it!
You were saying about melee cores? At least
he's hardly a melee, right?
At least it's not a strength core. So
yeah,
doesn't actually give too much of a damn about a lot of these damage instances, at least as long as he has his ultimate to work around. So this is
he tends to get
picks for Vibe, and also some very interesting picks for Monsoon, Breeze, and Return, because Ursa is a pretty good man fighter, but neither Ember Spirit nor Phantom Lance are really known as heroes that like to engage into man fights rather than they'd rather just go in and out of team fights, like press some chains and some sleight of fists, and Phantom Lance spend illusions. Like, I wonder if Ursa is actually able to scale well in that regard. In the lane though, that's it should still be Kunkka 4, Bloodseeker mid now, right? With the Ursa in the safe lane position. At the very least, he should be able to...
To be honest, like, I can see the Ursa mid. So, will be Ember heading to the mid lane? I think he has absolutely no region right now. He's still bothering his support. Come on, give me that tango. Thank you. There you go. Now he's gonna head to the mid lane. It's gonna be a really hard lane for him. Looks like we have the PL top, so they're dodging out on the aggressive Trillion potentially coming out. Kunkka Bloodseeker heading towards the bot lane. And Ursa top now? Huh. I think Ursa just wants to kill his rune. I doubt they're gonna stick him in the safe lane.
I'm not a fan of judging lanes just after they've walked 2 meters out of the fountain, essentially. Like, in these early movements, you want to move out into lanes, scour where the enemy is at, and then you make your decision.
Yeah, or you make a pause at the start and decide then, right? Joking.
Yeah.
Some teams do that, not these two. Sun King looks like a roaming Sun King to me. Has a lot of region, has a wind lace from the start. Like roaming in sense of like he will stay on lane, but Timber doesn't need anyone on bottom. Especially if there's a tri lane, then he will do fine, even with the Lich. Or that's even the best lane they can have up against the Lich. So they should be okay.
Yeah, I thought like Timbersaw likes being bullied by 3 heroes, especially in the early levels. But at the same time, if you get levels, then this is something that you can afford. Like if he's being zoned out, as long as he can get that solo experience, he can set himself up to make up for it later on, if that makes sense.
For now.
Yeah, let's remind ourselves what this game is about, because we have a Timbersaw here we don't see all that often. And then Ursa, Fuzzy Wuzzy coming into play, and it's certainly one of these heroes that's very fun to watch if he really gets the ball rolling, starts just clawing people to death.
30 seconds to battle.
I can just imagine like the very old Liquid Tier 3 days. Korok was playing that. Always came out of nowhere, but it was always so good.
Yeah, Ursa used to be a really good hero back when like early Roche was important. It isn't as important anymore because there's multiple combinations that can go for that Roche. I think he gets a little bit of relevancy because he can hit that timing before an enemy does. Like looking at Vibe, for example, they don't really have a Roche lineup whatsoever. They have terrible heroes for him. The only one being remotely acceptable would be Jakiro.
Not really.
I mean, Liquid Fire with the dual buff slow kinda is has a benefit against him, but only to reduce damage, not actually deal damage on Roche.
Roche heroes deal damage, not just make Roche deal less damage.
Yeah, but and Ursa with a Bloodseeker, they can easily enough go into the pit. Same with the Blizzardbag, has some armor reduction himself.
Honestly, Ursa just by himself.
Yeah.
Especially if he goes for either some lifesteal or the Dominator, just have a creep, help tank it up. Make sure he can stack up these 3 slides for now. He's alone against 2 though, including a Jakiro, who's just all too happy to spam the Druid Breath as well as a couple extra right clicks. But he doesn't really like at this point.
Kunkka stay to help now. The dual melee lane there, not a big fan.
Perhaps even Timbersaw, but you gotta get levels that can make it happen first. Until then, you can't really zone them out, unless they let you.
Yeah, especially with the Timber, like whenever Ursa approaches, he will still take damage from the Whirling Death. Like, yes, it doesn't reduce his strength attribute, it's only the agility he's losing, but you still take a lot of damage from it. Especially if it's a pure damage because of trees, and that's fairly easy in the offlane actually. There's a lot of trees you can utilize. It's a little bit harder to do that in the mid lane or on the offlane.
Yep,
that's it.
Just enough mana to work with. Had the mango in case it wasn't the case though. So hey, just run him down. With that, these stacks mounting up, which just misplay from the Sand King, just letting it get to the point in the first place. Even if you have a stick, you gotta be careful not to let that get to your head. It's only so much that it actually gives you, especially when you have like 3 or 4 stacks already. You just can't be in range. Hey, he pays the price. So this offlane for the Dire certainly doing a lot to offset this top lane. Ursa certainly struggling here. Only 4 CS now on the tower. Not the easiest anyway. You can't really work well with the Furious Waves. So far, there's been a bit too much chaos for him to be able to do that.
I gotta say, surprisingly, this Ember mid is doing fine so far. Like, he did go for the... Or he is maxing out the Flame Guard. A little bit unusual against the Bloodseeker, you could say, because it doesn't really have any problems with side damage. But, yeah, no, there you go.
Well, level 1 Flame Guard is bad.
True, like, if you level it, then you'd better level it up.
There's no way you don't put 2 points
But
into it.
what about the 80 magic damage you can absorb? It's almost like a raindrop, for once, that you can use every 40 seconds. And costs you mana.
50 than it was before.
Yeah.
Up top, Dominic continuing to be harassed out quite heavily here. He doesn't actually have any more region left apart from Tango that is going right now. A couple of stick charges, an extra Tango perhaps from Kunkka.
It is a long Tango though.
Oh, instead they bring in the Lich, the Axe, Torrent, Zombie. Yeah, that's the damage that I'm talking about here. A lot of damage being done in return though. Can they do enough to Timbersaw? They can't. He can pop a salve, ready to go once again. He wants to actually turn around some kills. And without the actual Ursa hitting him, they can't actually finish the kill.
The raid boss Shakira, he was about to take down 3 heroes there. Lich should be able to get out here, unless... Yeah, he's...
Quite an interesting round, but yeah, he'll be fine.
God, this Whirling Death will be so good once he levels it up. If he... Oh,
okay.
That just happened. We have to accept this and move on.
Yeah, shouldn't have to accept this. I mean, you're super low health up against a Shakiro who, of course, he has put towards up on the dual breath.
Yeah.
Like,
what did you expect?
Exactly. There's lots of
expectation in mid.
Thinking towards mid. They also have to follow up, perhaps, with the same chains whenever they need it. Stick charges are available to make that happen, but not gonna be enough damage. Zarada just managed to keep himself alive, only just. Now, of course, that means that he can just easily heal himself up as long as he can secure assets.
That's really the issue, right? Like, you see an Ember Spirit mid, you can't kill off the Bloodseeker. He's just too tanky for you. You have 2 tricks. That is the Searing Chains and a Flame Guard. You have a stun maybe coming in, but if he survives that, what do? You're terrible at trading hits with him, and if there's any creep in range, he's just gonna heal up and then you die.
Yeah. And Release top is still going well. Lich on the Joker. Oh, Joker on the Lich, how you want to prefer. Took a bit of a dual breath to the face, but Ursa himself just showing his face. A little bit more dangerous, but they did bring the Phantom Lance up here instead of Timbersaw now.
I'm not sure if I agree with that. I think like having a farmed Timber and then let the PL come back into the farm is better than allowing this Ursa PL lane to happen, because I feel like PL is not gonna have that much easier time against the Ursa. Before that, yes, he has been struggling for a while against Bristleback, but at least he got some experience. Now it might just end up being, yeah, the Lich Ursa lane doing the exact same thing to him.
Oh. Well, at least you'd figure the Timbersaw might have an easier time. He already has some mana to work with, and if he can keep these Racket armor stacks up, then Bristleback's bristles will also be mitigated quite a bit, because that is physical damage.
Zarada mid. He used the Rupture to try and go for the Ember Spirit. Didn't work in the end, but look at him. Ember Spirit level 5, level 7 on the Bloodseeker, and he's completely outclassing him in the farm.
Seems to be able to see a lot of Bloodseekers doing no matter where they go. Like, last 2 games saw Bloodseeker getting ridiculous amount of CS, and this time in the middle lane seems to be no big exception to that rule either.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot more Bloodseeker in our matches, and I'm pretty sure everybody's super happy about that.
Heidman, or Adiman, gonna go. Burststrike still comes out, took a lot of damage already, and Aztec does keep him alive for now. It's the Ursa. Get brought down, Belay does find the last hit though. 1-for-1 trade, so he's still in favor of the Radiant. So this offline with Jakiro still hanging around and stabilizing that, no matter whether it's the Phantom Lance or the Timbersaw to help him out. It's certainly doing well. And as far as is concerned, like, yeah, he can hold his own now. In his bottom lane too.
Yeah, for some reason Bristle is not dominating this Timber. Like, you would assume that early he has a chance, but...
No, you
Timber
wouldn't,
has
because
too many levels.
he had the levels.
Yeah, he had the levels.
He does not rely on anything, on any mana, whatsoever, to be able to sustain himself, whereas Bristleback relies on mana to be able to throw out the damage continuously, so... That's, oh, Fire mid, Serrata.
Defensive
Rupture.
Rupture.
Take after this one. Oh god, no, another burst strike. Couple of right clicks here, there is the cast finale, but it won't be enough. That was pretty dangerous there for a second though.
Yeah, like if anyone was still in range, like Jakiro, one spell would have died, same as with the Ember Spirit. Was still around, but... Hey, it's another Rupture dying without a death, so I think that's a win for the Ember. Especially because he has been at least getting some of the last hits.
Yep.
Again, but I think the timer still ticks in their favor. Like, Bristleback even getting chased down on a T2 here.
Mango eaten, stick charges, this arcane boots here. Gives Timbersaw quite a lot to work with already at this early phase in the game. And well, we talked about strength heroes and whirling death, and this might not come into play as much against the Ursa, but it certainly worked wonders up against the Bristleback.
Yeah. So just thinking about it, Monsoon, they're still doing arguably better, but the timer is in favor of Vibe. They have to PL. At one point, PL is too much to do with, same goes with the Ember. It will still take them quite a while, but Monsoon is not exploding yet. You would assume like at 9 minutes there's maybe a Roche down by Ursa. Yes, good farm, but nothing like is happening, and Ursa might even go down bottom.
Ooh, so we're getting pretty damn close. If you can get himself closer, and with ultimate, nice dodge though from Zombie. No one else looking to intercept him. Oh, beautiful Timber Chain Cross. Is it close enough to Rupture?
Oh.
Do you even care about it? Not really.
Don't get close, Ursa. Don't do it. Don't be greedy.
Oh, wow.
Timber Chain was not the spell to use there.
He had to,
I guess he had no choice.
Yeah. It was a long range right click for Serrata to finish him off. He stood in the high ground, maybe he lives in the end, but yeah.
They tried to help it. Alright, that's a Rupture kill. That's really good to have for them, because they need to make sure this Timber doesn't snowball out of control. And looking at the net worth, that cut him down a little bit. Bloodseeker will have some farm at one point. No, Ember's still fairly useless against him. That takes 3 points as well.
Yeah, Ember's going for the boots of trouble right now, so it's more or less a farming thing at this point. I would assume the Maelstrom comes in after, so he'll have ways to catch up and be mobile around the map. And until then, like, you can rely on the Timbersaw with a decent enough start to kind of provide a lot of chaos, and then you also have to look towards the Phantom Lancer. He'll probably do the same thing. He's looking for the treads into late lane. That's a good kill. A lot of damage done in return in Joker. Not quite on the 6 just yet. That would have been pretty good. Chain Frost otherwise. And Dan's still hanging around. One more nuke, but that's just the bait. He just dies. Despite the taunt being thrown out. And now he gets burst struck up. Not running forward, even the Macropire just to make sure.
Mistake after mistake.
Oh, it's just a casual feed on the back of that.
Just a casual chain feed. Nothing to see here. 3 heroes down for the count.
Radiant's top tower is
Gotta really make sure it doesn't fall apart. They have an advantage.
11 Fury Swipes stacked up on Nono.
Only.
He's doing the dance. He's just...
He still doesn't take damage though. It's a Timbersaw.
He does, but... It's just a matter of Zombie having to make sure that he can dodge this out, and then get a range for the hits that he's required, and Timbersaw has been playing the dance just as well, if not better. Chain Cross here turns us around with the Axe combo onto the Kira. Yeah, it's actually a pretty important kill at this point, just to take him down a notch. But it was on the back of that initial pick off. So just being slowed down once again, then... Well, he's not getting into any items that will allow him to take a quick Roche just yet.
Yeah, like, the farm is lacking for the Ursa. Taking a look at the net worth, he's the only of the cores that doesn't do well. Like, at least the Vibe ones are all on the same level. Like, nobody's horribly underfarmed. They're still behind, but... Safety to his tower, has bottle charges.
Again, Ember Spirit's pretty good with the remnants. If you have one defensively, then Rupture doesn't really bother you all that much.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Again, that's, as a result, that's another one forced out. just defensively, more or less. Ooh, look at this.
Juicy DD rune.
It's the rune of many wins, and well, we'll not be able to take the game off of this particular double damage rune just yet. It might net them a team fight here, especially with Adiman on Sanking. Come around for a burst strike, dual breath, macropire. Yes. Very dead hero.
It's another kill on a Bloodseeker. Like, where do you go if you're Monsoon? Like, where's your strategy? You have your timing pitch. Like, your Ursa, yeah, your Ursa, it's going for some items, but no real damage. It's not up. Might even fall down here. Or will he?
Nice. Trying to turn things around, but the ultimate protected him for now. But he realizes that he cannot stick around.
I think they narrowly missed the kill.
On TPN.
Oh, Bristle actually really low top. But hey, it's a Bristle, joke's on you.
He's pretty damn fast, at least with the Warfare, but not fast enough. Catalyst coming in for the snipe. Well played indeed. And there's Bloodseeker, another Rupture and Catalyst. Okay,
later, nerd. And now has to travel, so this will keep happening to the Bloodseeker. Every time he goes on Ember, he's not building into any stuns. Arguably, the only stuns they actually have is on the Kunka to interrupt his TPs.
That feeling when your ultimate is counted out by a 50 gold item.
Yeah.
That's the combo from Kunka onto the Phantom Master. But hey.
Into nothing.
Into absolutely nothing. At the same time, done bottom. That's some chain for us bouncing out, but not enough to get retribution for yet another kill on the Ursa. This poor guy is even been forced into a Hood of Defiance himself. Overall, the longer the game goes, the more they seem to work out the team right. The more time you have, I mean, you have 3 heroes that can scale quite nicely with farm. 3 cores, I should say. Timbersaw, going more into defensive items. Here, the Field Blade is going to come out sooner or later for the Phantom Mantle into his own tanky items, and then you have an Ember Spirit, who's well set up to farm across the map as well. Routes of travel already going.
I just see this Timbersaw reaching a point where they can't really do much about him. There is some magic damage, and he's not going for that pipe. Just yet, he's going for Crimson instead, but no.
No. TP out. There's a boat. Is there?
They used the X mark. They used it already, and he immediately chained away into TP. Doesn't care. The X mark is the only stun they have to interrupt TP scrolls in the entire lineup.
Yeah, it's just a misplay. Like
that is a misdraft with a Bloodseeker. Like
that right there was a misplay. There's no reason that Kunka should not be used, that you should be able to be away from Kunka with max out X and Torrent and bow. There's no way. But as in the 5 minutes, Serrata, he'll just start to damage over time, and everyone else will as well. Epicenter not even needed. Animan still comes in and gets himself one of these juicy little kills, so they're sharing those equally between the 3 of them. And this is where things start to get a little bit dicey, to say the least. It's also the exact kind of game that Bristol can't really help you with.
It's the type of game where Bristle doesn't help you, the Bloodseeker doesn't help you, and DPL just laughs in silence. Because he knows, like, it's already doing great, and he knows he will dominate this game down the road.
Goes back. Can get on and again now. Slowed down by Claw. Doesn't have too much mana to work with, so it's just mostly the passive Bristleback now. At least he's taking enough to survive until reinforcements come in. Serrata with the Blight Mail here, Catalyst slowing everyone else down, but looks like No might end up dropping first. Do not want to continue this fight. Oh, Catalyst down. That's just his last remnant. A bit of trouble here, especially with the Chain Frost bouncing through. He's gonna die too. A little bit too greedy here. Well, I was just saying how this is not
just a little bit
help you with, but only if you don't just throw everything you have on him. You have to ignore him. You can easily ignore him if you want to, but still lose fights if you go in like this. One by one they drop. And this is very questionable.
This was not good for them at all. Thanks, Cap. But I don't know. Like, is this enough to pull ahead? Like, I see the PL on the net worth. I see him. He's 300 behind the Bristleback. Bristleback, what effectively do you do? Like, unless the entire Vibe lineup runs at the Bristleback, I don't really see them losing any future fights.
Yeah, I mean...
There's so many defensive items they went for.
Yeah,
like, Zombie went into Hood of Defiance on an Ursa. That is terrible for him. Like, that's a dead item, it's purely defensive.
That's what they need to realize, and if they don't, then yeah, they can throw away any of these fights where just focus on a Bristle, and as you just said, but... Well... What else can say in that? We'll see. Right? They still have. They've got themselves enough of a. I don't want to say big advantage, but they got themselves in a position that they needed to. Although the laning stage should be comfortable going forward still.
I think what you need to do in Monsoon is you have to actively smoke gank with the Kunkka and the Bloodseeker. You can't allow these dragged out fights to ruin your initiation every time. Kunkka centered around the Kunkka. He's the only tool you have to prevent them from us keeping out of a gank.
Gonna try again, dropping absolutely everything.
This time.
Still brought Ember Spirit down to half, but yeah. Summon wasn't enough. Not enough time for reinforcements to turn things around. So hey.
Man, if he had his blade mail there, it would have been a disaster.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're gonna get the last tier 1 tower. Put down my Catalyst. Can they also defend their own one mid? Looks like it. Mass CP's coming in. Let's have the chains on the Bloodseeker, dropping down the Blood Right, and there's no follow up with anything. That'll be the end of that, but they do keep the tier 1 tower alive, and you said time again how important that is.
Yeah, they have that T1 and mid advantage, and Monsoon, they have the lineup that wants to rotate, and you can't if there's still this and this T1 up. The only reason you can gank on a map is this kind of small area. There's rarely any hero there, or at least you can't predict it. LPL.
The ganger again.
Oh, they know who's the real one.
Dodge a lot of that.
Oh, do they?
Reinforcements say hello, Bristleback. You don't want to go on him though. And they realize it. They don't want to make that same mistake again. And Phantom Lancer, I'm not sure about that particular retreat bar, but not double getting out the high ground into the TPL will be successful.
X-Mark.
Silence, he does have a remnant though, still gets caught by the silence with the Blood Rage, the Rupture, everything. And the Chain Frost, a lot of things, but there's also a Macropire. Look at that Macropire, dude! Oh my god. They got the kill on the Bloodseeker as a result, fake promise. He's still trying to run down the Shakiro, but he's also trying to work with Catalyst. Their Y is enough to focus on these other heroes, and they are TP out from Lich. Oh, they cancel it. Cheating Chains just coming off cooldown in time. Everyone else also kind of low on mana as well as health points.
That's the raid boss.
Now everyone else not willing to help him. That's the point where you can say, alright, let's try and bring him down, but okay, Ursa doing quite a bit of damage to Phantom unless he doesn't have it. His doppelganger available. He just ran straight into the bear. He needs to walk his way out with the enraged Jews.
Bristleback, by the way.
I just wanted to say, yeah, they've been doing a good job just carrying him around until they can focus on him, and then they just didn't expect the Ursa to come back. I think he healed up on the shrine or something.
Yeah, he healed with the shrine. Healed with the shrine, and he has that passive reach as well of 20. Ah, that hurt. He still hasn't picked his... he still did not pick his talent. There we go, there's the level 10 talent. On 14, normal timing, don't mind me. I never tried it, but you can't level your level 15 talent if you don't level it, level the 10 one before, right?
Don't think you can, yeah.
Would be fun. I've never seen that work, but there's some heroes I can imagine, like Veno, for example, but you wanted gold.
Yeah. Well, still keeping themselves in the game just because Vi more or less lets them. And as a result, Ursa now eking his way towards the top of the net worth chart. Phantom Lance is still close behind him though. And the later the game goes, this hero is still gonna be an issue.
Yeah, the PL will be an issue, but I think you have one more big timing you can do on Monsoon. Like, you have the Blink Dagger and the Ursa available now, he has the Morbid Mask. What prevents you from just going to Rage? He already has the Smoke of Deceit in the backpack. Be lucky, my friend. They had the ward, they could have went for the Rupture earlier. Like, they can even chase him after the Rupture at this point. He's fairly fast, he has the ult now.
Next to tier 1, so... The Rupture is not what he worries about. What he is worried about is the Axe comboed up with everything else.
Because the Axe will ruin you.
Yeah. That is the one big counter towards the Ember Spirit. Unless he can play around it with Ghouls. Is that available now? So if he Remnants when he's Axe, and then Yules is immediately in belay, just tries to press the button, then there'll be enough of a counter, but there's a lot of ifs and whens and buts. Certainly nothing that's too reliable.
There's the smoking we talked about. Gonna go... Yeah, where do you go? What do you do? Come on. Don't gank to T1. You know there's nobody there. Oh, joke's on you. They're smoking on the other side. Split in half. Alright, at least get the tower now, please.
Yeah, that should be an inevitability here.
You're gonna see them all jumping out of top lane as well.
Yeah. It's a tier 1 for tier 2 trade though, which is not exactly ideal at the end of the day.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
You gotta take what you can get at this point. Oh, do you? It's TPN from a Joker.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Almost found that Blink Burst Strike from the Sanking. Now, another smoke. Just under vision though, they know exactly what's happening this time. And Vibe, I'm thinking about, hey, maybe they're trying to sneak Roshan, so they move towards this area, or at least confirming that Zombie's not in there. Which of course he isn't, because he discarded out that smoke in the first place. And there it is though. You'll play though with the Burst Strike, but Epicenter still coming out. They want to try and find burst down the Purunka and will be able to. The boats will connect. They'll have to give up the Sanking in return. One trade so far. Timbersaw also. There's a lot of minus armor stacking up here with Fake Promise. Catalyst in the front lines. Some Remnants to work with them back, but yeah, they want to engage in the back lines. Ursa will be brought down as finally Phantom Lancer comes in the back. Also in Joker, out of mana and focused on by this Phantom Lancer. They're just doing the right thing, ignoring Fake Promise. Even brought back on the Sanking here to just keep this push going. Beautiful Ice Path into another Burst Strike. Ardiman still stands up just on the edge of the Blood Right. Now focusing on Sarada, continue to ignore this Bristle back. And he's just helpless. Now he's alone. No more mana, no more life points, controlled up. He almost gets no-no, but almost, as I always say in Dota, is not enough. Another Yules is Kunka back into the Ice Path. First strike, whenever they need it, whenever they want it, it's a full 5-man wipe. Vibe played this team fight exceptionally well. Took them like just 2 or 3 tries, but they did it in the end. Now, guess what? They have a catapult. They have the entire lineup ready to go. Not all that much health, all that healthy, but healthy enough. Yeah, they can find
and Ember in the front. Yep, that literally burns away towers. Even through the ice armor.
Indeed. There we go. Gonna go for more kills too. Blink Burst Strike, follow up with the Ice Path. That is a Lich who's just gonna be bursted down just as he respawn more or less. Also get enough space for the Phantom Lancer to at least finish up the tier 3. Death time is not long enough for them to be able to really go for more than that just yet.
And again, Bloodsinger can't find any kills even after the respawn. Same goes to the Ursa. Due to the lack of stuns, they only had 1 X mark, didn't get out in time, wasn't in range. Yep. So yeah, super clean fight, 7k gold lead. This was pretty solid.
Yep.
Bristle? That's a little bit greedy.
Why?
Alright, he doesn't care.
They know that they can't really kill him, or at least not until the rest of the team comes in. So he's trying to go for this tier 1 tower push.
Aww.
Kikiro says, nope, not gonna get that.
Mine.
Deny it.
No. Could have seen that one coming.
Not sure what this timing though. Very ambitious for the Ursa.
Oh, hello there.
Now it's on a half health.
Oh, missed the searing change actually. He's level 15, so that extra second is super handy against the Ursa. That's 4 seconds he can't move at all. He can't blink either. Until he has that BKB.
Oh. Pretty tense, yeah. Still kind of team fight that can be easily messed up. That takes a lot of patience. But I can't really all that much pressure to keep taking these team fights time and time again. Like, they have the Phantom Lancer who has the Silver Edge, so he went for that as a solution to the Bristleback. And next up is going to be Heart of the Rask, and that's a point where it's going to be much, much harder for them to even threaten him in these team fights. Even if they are extended, even if Bristleback has some mana to work with to start stacking up these quill sprays.
Clear as clean water.
So, where do you go if you want to? Get 10k gold behind against a hero that crushes you in the late game. So, yeah, do you think they have any option left? Straight up then just to run down to the Roche pit, try and hope for the best?
Certainly no options that aren't equally daring, I would say. Like, they need a fight. You have an Ursa, and Ursa is not fighting. Like, 2-5-2, this is not a scoreline that you want to see on your Ursa 30 minutes in. It's just not the type of hero for it. So, similar, I would say, to Bristleback or the Bloodseeker for that matter. Like,
CPL.
Could be a good one though. They see him, but let's get the way out. The Rupture still connects him. In a bit of trouble, but does have a whole lot of help. With the Macropire burning everybody down. First strike in the middle, and also Catalyst bouncing in and out. They did lose one, they did lose two, and Ottoman also called the Catalyst. But then there's another Remnants coming off cooldown just straight up DP's out. And gets bursted though.
Make it.
Bit of a little bit more than they could chew despite that nice little Jakiro combo.
Yeah, he did so much damage on Jakiro, but nobody died to it. 2,500 damage, I bet over 2,000 just came from the Macropire. He did as much as the Ember there.
Yeah, same from Ember. It's a lot of damage, but not enough to actually finish anybody off, as I said, without the Phantom Lancer actually being able to operate. Now, try to go into Rover Zombie, actually bested by a hero right now, which is not something that you usually see. By that, I don't know. Is it a creep? Not really. It's not really a hero either, but close enough.
Yes.
I mean, it's 3 spells, right? Or 2 spells and a passive.
Alright, you get that much.
He's closer to a hero than Lucian Creed, that's my whole point. On the big old Roshan. Anyway. It's a bit of a setback, surely, for Vibe. Which means more space for Monsoon Breeze, but it doesn't really change the fact that they need to keep taking these skirmishes.
Yeah,
they need to be actively looking for them.
Yeah, keep doing these skirmishes. It's still a 10k lead and you lost the T3, so these shrines are open. Especially if you strip Ursa away of this shrine at the top lane, you look into a lot of trouble because you don't have that easy Roche access anymore. You also what a lot of people forget, they can actively set up behind the Roche group, like the Sun King, for example, over here. Stun mid.
Can't go in Bristleback.
Yeah, he's just like, go hit me, I don't care. He's tanky.
It's just coming fully to it here. Pipe of Insight, certainly a big part of why no one died in the last fight. Actually, I'm pretty not sure where they had it at that point, but anyway. He has it now. Crimson Guard on top of that, so bringing that to the table is certainly useful. Especially if you then look towards even more items like that. Namely, like the Guardian Greaves would be pretty good. Just adding extra armor when everyone's low, and extra regen and whatnot.
I really like this. I really like the tanky Bristleback instead of like trying to get like S and Y and try to just go for damage. I think this fits him well. Just Pipe, Crimson Guard, Greaves, Blade Mail up and running. After that, you go into the Shiva's Guard and you're super tanky against the PL. Shiva's Guard would be a great item to have, not only for the slow, but also to just lock down some illusions. Only thing he has to watch out for is the Silver Edge, because that is completed on the PL.
Yeah, they can still make sure that if he's super greedy, like he has been a couple of times, like far out front, just relying on his tankiness to be able to survive. Like if he gets caught out by the Silver Edge, like couple more heroes, then it can be bursted down, despite these defense items. But yeah, for now, they're still
Ember on the hunt.
having other plans. Yeah. Dono also making his way up towards the top lane. Still not ceding control of the map though on the side of Vibe, despite like losing a few of these skirmishes.
Dire's top tower is under
Let's
attack.
give that one to them.
Ember, gotta watch out here. You have no ages yet, my friend.
Now, zombie. If he has a basher there,
Yeah, exactly. Like, what if he only had a basher?
Yeah.
Like, that might be your opener, but
Dire's bottom
you're gonna keep
tower
running
is
into
under
these scenarios where Ember doesn't really care about your magic damage. Especially like the Arcane Rune, he just... Yeah, he has the next Flame Guard up and running fairly soon. He's gonna have a Flame Guard non-stop.
so it is the slow siege. Yo, you see someone in mid. That's the Ursa. Out of mana, can still pop the BKB, can still pop his ultimate though. Take a job to him here, Claw. Certainly looking for it here with the extra ice buff, but it's actually Bristleback taking over front lines now. Epicenter being channeled up. They wanted to take this fight, but I don't actually see it in the middle here. Catalyst trying to finish off the back lines is there. Yeah, they're going back and forth in the front. So far, so good. I mean, Thanking has died, but so also Funkin. Everyone's kind of dropping low on mana. Serrata next on the list is finally out of juice. Now Ursa. Alright, finish up the front line. Finish up the Q in the back lines. So both supports down. Not too much juice on Catalyst either.
Yeah, they still can't reach them.
Back in. The break on the Bristleback. It has expired since, so now unkillable.
Let's see the Hunter's on. Rupture in 10 seconds. He can chase his PL down. PL has no mana whatsoever. He should just TP. Yeah, there you go. Not much they can do about it.
Yep.
Again. For the
Dire's top
12th
tower
time.
is under attack.
Ah, this is so frustrating. They lose so many kills because of TP scrolls. This is almost the point where you say, screw that, I'm going Youth Scepter just to have it disable.
No.
At least force them into like the BKB, because this PL will have hard. At one point he just doesn't even care about your Rupture anymore. He just runs.
Oh yeah.
And he picked the
Imagine
lifesteal
him
over
getting
the
a
Rupture
nil
damage.
after the heart. That would be hilarious, but this would be that's the guy, I guess.
I wouldn't even be too turned down by now. There's a Lich, you can't control that damage. It's great against Ursa, it's good against the Bristleback. Like Blade Mail is a top tier item in this game. Like that's the only reason Timber has one. I was surprised Ember did not go for one, but that's because he wants the BKB first.
Yeah. Well, it was getting pretty close to it, so that'll allow him to stick around in these fights in the face of the Conker, at the very least. But also the Lich, who does do a decent amount of magical damage too. He gets a few bounces there from the Chain Frost, not to be underestimated. But yeah. They're holding on quite valiantly. Question is, what can they do with that? Can they actually turn this into, at some point, pushing across the map?
I don't see Monsoon taking any T2 in the next 20 minutes. If they want to win this game, it's either within the next 4 minutes by a big fight where there's no buybacks, or like by a big mistake on Vibe, or in the super late game.
Yeah. Super late game when rules of Dota don't apply.
Yeah, like, but they have a Kunker. This is the only reason why I'm suggesting this. Despite the fact him having absolutely no farm, like he's the lowest on the net worth. Only in like 50 minutes we might see him doing something. I just don't see the damage output against the PL once he has hard.
Yep.
Yeah, we see it there. Almost killed the Bloodseeker off.
Oh wow, yeah.
Epicenter plus illusions. At least they had that BKB, but down BKB is going down, and PL does not have a BKB. He's online without it. Hard is completed if he wants it.
Also hold on to buyback, they'll still be a while out. Yeah. I've seen Phantom Lances before just say, ah man, I can't die, so just buy the heart. He very well might, but it's gotta be careful not to run into too big of a trouble where they die and then no one has buyback. And just lose way too many objectives that you don't need to give up. But for now, Adiman, first one to fall here, Claw with a TP out. But hey, this backlines, yeah, that's a Phantom Lancer saying, hey, come and fight me if you dare. Delay out of mana. He's still trying to figure out who is who.
Found all the mana. They have a bash on the Ursa now. Like, finally completed. He changed his mind about his item choices.
Yeah,
but I like it as well. I think it's the right call. Just go for the bashes so you have the chance at locking down the Ember. Eventually you have an Abyssal. The moment you have the Abyssal, you can kill off the Ember. He's going BKB. There's no Lincoln Sphere. There's like no Lotus Orb. There's like no defensive tool other than BKBs.
Well, let's see if he goes for that next. So right now he has that Aghanim Scepter queued up. So a little more defensive utility there. It's alright. This is Roche that's very easily possible for Phantom Lancer. You can still take damage through so many illusions that don't die instantly anymore. But it's also one of the slowest Roches in history of Dota. Could be a bit quicker if they want to pick up the double damage rune, but that might be more useful for the fight going forward here.
Almost died to the Ursa on the high ground. Almost died.
Gideon already clicked here by the Ember. They have the Aegis in hand. The Phantom Lancer, he can just go YOLO and say, yeah, I'll just fight you to the death if I need to.
This sentry triggers me. I hate it when it happens. Just 1 inch outside the range. Jakiro almost died for it as well. But yeah. That was the first Roche, I believe.
Yeah. Was, yeah.
Wow, Ursa game, 40 minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes first Roche in an Ursa game. That's the first.
Indication of how most of the game went. Then, yeah, then I don't know what else. Alright, can they hold on against this?
Oh, Yules.
That was a 3-cast Yules, yeah, just as well. Jakiro would have died otherwise, and now that's a Phantom Lancer, just not quite getting the kill because there's no detection here for the Joker. So Lich gets out, but BKB forced out on Ursa. This is pretty big. Not just for the duration, but it's also on cooldown now for a long time.
Yeah, that is going down.
Opportunity here.
Ursa.
Back in the front, yeah, Ursa forced to fight here. They're gonna throw quite a few things onto the Phantom Lancer, but he's barely breaking his threat here. Just wait a couple of seconds for the heart to kick back in, and now starting to work away at these buildings. It's not easy to eat through all of this ice armor though. On Epicenter though, that's a burst strike. Alright, get the quick, easy targets first. There's still Konka. Now, no more mana here on the Swizzleback. Broken as well. He can do a little bit more damage, but they need to focus on the Ursa. 4 stuff out, protecting is still dead. So no more burst strikes in this particular fight, but everyone is out of mana. They cannot actually take this engagement. Sonata, well, it's a bit of a difference, but it just means that he can receive a lot of damage from the mana burn. Surviving is all well and good, but it's not going to be enough. Cannot actually kill this Phantom Lancer once, let alone twice.
Timbersaw! He's so useful this game.
He might even... With the buyback, once again putting into the fray, they realize that this is where they Phantom Lancer is unkillable. They can just do whatever they want, and eventually still be able to kill every single hero in every single building. We'll try again though with the BKB this time. Ursa, alright, that's a dieback. Just gonna do the trick. They need to kill Phantom Lancer twice. That is, alright, something good side if he can kill the Ember Spirit though. He pops the BKB, just have a remnant flying out now, and well, double chains, a bit of a combo, they're all dead. Triple kill for my awakening. Yeah, what I said, slowly but surely, this is the way these fights go. If you cannot kill the heroes that you need to kill. They're not close to the Ember Spirit, but close is not enough. And I would just be calling GG at this point.
Yeah, there's really no point in keep playing here, in my opinion. It's 20k gold. PL will only get tanky from now on. I think the best they had right now was bringing him down to, like, I believe 2,000. But beside that, they never had a chance. With the Crimson Guard, with the Aegis, full Skadi coming up next for him, you didn't kill him. You just struggle against him. You will chase him around forever.
Aegis will be down in another minute or so, but you can just replace that with Skadi.
Dire's bottom shrine has fallen.
And yeah, he's gonna pick it up right now, I would imagine. There we go.
Yeah, good luck killing that PL, and he isn't even 25 yet. So the crit strike will pitch in, and he actually finds the bristle as well.
Broken, not lasting for too long, so it's still gonna take a little bit longer. But yeah, what do you do without mana? You just stand there and die slowly and more painfully, I would imagine. That's not Torrent, but well,
Doesn't matter.
might not die here with everyone else coming in, but Master is very happy to just use the Aegis right now. It's about to expire anyway. And he gets 2 kills before that even pops, so imagine with that nice little ice pop what will happen now when Joker out of mana, but gonna keep him alive for now. Nice little stun actually, and silence.
Slow.
They actually get him a second time, they can!
Oh wow.
What the bash is not what I expected here.
Doppelganger walls up.
Spirit, everyone else, they could have rushed in to try and create chaos to help him out at the very least, but they didn't even do that.
Dire's top tower is under
Very
attack.
awkward. But hey, I mean, he's down, doesn't want to buy back. 80 seconds on the sidelines, with 80 seconds when Monsoon Breeze can be confident that there won't be another big high ground push at least.
Yeah, slight misstep, but even with PL dying, they still gained 3k gold. They did get rid of the shrine at the top lane. They're making pressure on the T3. They still have Ember in the front line. Might not have a Jakiro though.
He's still coming. It's quite interesting here in the epicenter. Onto the Bloodseeker here with the follow-up. He does not have the BKB. It's on cooldown, and he's bursted. No buyback. So down to the Ursa. And now, without his own BKB, he can just be kited. Meanwhile, Konka in the back. Right click down by Catalyst, and they don't even need the PL. Oh man.
Dire's middle tower is under
Alright, come on, man. Just call it. There we go. GG well played after that realization. Strikes home. This vibe will win the game. Game number 1 in the Special 3 semifinals.
45 minutes. But gets the job done with the PL.